I'll never even make it out alive. Is there some kind of flaw in my design? Is there some kind of reason for my manic state of mind? Is there any kind of reason in this life? Or are we all just holding on because we're scared to learn this night?
Something in the water taught me how to crawl. Something in the water taught me how to fall.
Hey, y'all. Hey, it's another Something in the Water podcast. I'm Uncle Dave Griffin.
Sean Clark.
This is Sean Clark and our man behind the scenes over there, Justin Mercer of
Caution Light
Media. Mm-hmm. And our guest this week is Mr. Aaron Lane from Brantley County, Georgia.
Brantley County.
Which is, it
Right
kind
over there.
of connects. It butts right up against Ware County where we live. And as a matter of fact, Brantley County is where my mama was from.
Mm.
Yeah, she grew up there on the edge, the western side of Hoboken.
Okay.
And so welcome
Thank you.
to Something in the Water podcast.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, man. How about you, Mike? Is that cool?
Is that good?
Need to be closer?
Excellent.
All right, that's good. Well, thank y'all for tuning in again. Coming from Brantley County, as a musician, you know, there for a long time when I was coming along, there weren't a whole lot of bands coming out of Brantley County. I think one of the first guitar players, and he might have been borderline Brantley County, Pierce County, was Steve. I believe his name was Steve Howell. And
Sounds familiar.
yeah, he played in a little trio down at the Steakhouse Lounge in Waycross. Masterful guitar player.
Nice.
But so tell us a little bit about how you got into music.
Well, like you said, Brantley is very traditional in a lot of different ways, I think. But I grew up a lot on my dad playing bluegrass music because
cool.
out in Brantley, Schlotterville, Hoboken, wherever you want to call it, they have the Twin Oaks Park, and they do
Bluegrass festivals.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And man, just like the harmony and all that stuff really helped me shape, and start liking bands like Crosby, Stills, Nash, and even along to stuff like Dr. Dog, if you know those guys. Yeah. So it kind of...
You like the harmonies.
Yeah, absolutely.
The harmony bands.
That very much adds to a lot, and that's always something that catches my ear because of, I believe, because of all the...
How old
stuff.
were you about this time when you were first feeling your way into it?
When I first actually, something caught my eye, it really wasn't bluegrass because, that was kind of a run-of-the-mill thing. Hey, we're going out here. I would hear it and be like, wow, that sounds good every once in a while. But it wasn't until I was about 10 or 12. We were riding in the truck with my Uncle Brian. He was like 16 at the time when I'm like 10 or 12. And he's like, man, have you guys ever heard this? And he shows us this CD of Californication by Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Okay.
And I was like, what? We were like, what is this? And the only thing I'd heard of until then was country music on the radio, maybe some NSYNC kind of stuff, and bluegrass.
Okay.
And he turns on, I don't think it was Californication. I think it was Other Side. How long will I slide? And it was just like,
Okay.
What is this?
There's more to it.
Yeah, there's like, and it just blew. I'm getting chills right now thinking about it because I was just like mind blown. This like, oh, you can do, because another thing to that exact point, the first time I heard Midnight in Montgomery by Alan Jackson, it was like, oh, this song's scary. I know you can make scary movies, but you can make a song that's scary too.
Scary songs.
Which was super cool. So it's a lot of different influences because of, growing up in the middle of nowhere and all of a sudden getting a punch in the face of some culture from somewhere else,
Yeah. Well, I mean, basically the same thing happened to me, as a youngster, so I guess things are really no different. It's just there's you got more access to things nowadays than you did in 1964. When I was 10 in 1964, I laid on the floor and watched the Beatles on Ed Sullivan. As a matter of fact, it would have been February 9th. And we're taping today is actually February the 3rd. So we're almost on the 57th anniversary of the Beatles on Ed Sullivan.
That's super cool.
Wow.
And so that was my kind of like eye-opening experience.
Yeah.
Like, whoa,
Mind blowing.
Yeah. Yeah. What'd you have? 10.
Yeah.
MTV.
Okay.
The good MTV.
The good MTV.
Yeah.
Not ridiculous.
Carson Daly.
But
Yeah.
it hit like before it came to Waycross where we had it. I had family in Savannah, and I'd go there, and they had MTV, and I was like, "What? This is crazy."
He won't leave the house.
And I guess before that, video wise, they would have night tracks.
Night Tracks. I remember Night Tracks.
And was
on TBS.
Yeah, and then there was something
Pop-up video?
Night Flight.
You remember Pop-Up
Pop-Up
Video?
I
From
do
VH1?
remember.
So
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Night Tracks was TBS. Night Flight might have been like an ABC or something.
But I used to stay up late
Getting in
and
on
watch
it,
that
yeah.
on the weekends, and I was
That's
just
cool.
I just loved everything that came on there. I was like, this is crazy. This is cool.
Is there a certain video you remember? Like music video, just like, oh my God.
Yeah, I remember a bunch of them.
Duran, Flock of Seagulls.
Yeah. I was pulling up some for Bess, my wife, the other night. She didn't want to go down that road, but I was just, look at this video. What do you think about this? David Lee Roth, Yankee Rose. She's like, this would get so canceled right now.
Absolutely. Like, yeah, it's so wild.
This could not happen in today's whatever. All the womanizing videos.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty funny that. But
Could be worse.
But being from a small town like this, and then when you see something, when your eye gets opened up to some craziness like that, you're like, I want that. I want to do that. And that's what I wanted to
Well,
start
that's what
playing
it
guitar,
was basically all about. That's what the Beatles on Ed Sullivan. Every household in America that could tune into CBS
had their minds blown.
Had their minds blown.
Got a little bit of rock and roll.
And that's when you saw an immediate impact because on Monday morning, there was little kids at every music store in America, buying guitars and drums and all, and garage bands popping up everywhere, Me, I didn't get into the music though till a few more years down the road, but we did take it upon ourselves to was living in a trailer park in Albany, Georgia, when the Beatles came out, 64, and we did fashion ourselves some homemade guitars out of plywood, some kind of a stick, and roofing nails for the tuners, and clothesline wire strung from the roofing nails down to the end of the guitar down here. We stood out there with them ancient relics underneath the middle of the trailer park had a grass median with pecan trees in it. And little old tiny street lamps ever so often. We'd get right underneath the street lamp at dark with them makeshift guitars singing Beatles songs.
Wow.
That's awesome.
With love from me to you.
Clank,
I've got arms that long to hold you.
Just
but,
cats
yeah,
clawing each other.
it was but I guess every generation, has something that stirs it up
For sure.
You kind of got us
completely.
That's weird.
Well,
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
way
that
cooler
was-
than
Yeah, yeah.
anything.
Dave's always got to one up you. Well,
Yeah.
I was there with the Beatles,
I know.
so
Made history.
your little Poison band or what have you.
Well, it's like
And
that's pretty cool though. Your MTV story.
And MTV was
the music just wasn't as cool as
It
I
was-
thought it was.
it
at
was
the time.
dying when at the very end when I was growing
Right.
up on it,
Yeah,
because
It's
I
nothing-
remember like TLC,
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I was
music
already,
videos.
I was already like getting out at that
Yeah.
point. But
it's starting to be. What was that program they had on about put a bunch of people in a house together?
Real
Oh,
World.
Big Brother or the Real World?
Real
World.
Either one.
Some guy named Puck was the was the
That's Real World.
episode I watched.
Real
probably
World 2.
94.
I
Classic.
think that was the second season.
Reality television, and
I mean, like a bicycle.
that was the
messengers?
beginnings of reality TV, and now there's nothing but reality
That's
TV.
it, man.
Mhm.
No reality though.
No, it's
But but those are your lyrics that I'm
Scripted.
taking from you right now. So
oh yeah,
Saw it on TV.
ain't it?
Honey Boo Boo.
I do that. Dave lets me play that song, so that I do that. every
Oh
once in a
well,
while.
saw it on TV.
Yeah.
yeah,
Good stuff.
yeah. Song that I wrote with the help of Corey Bradley and Ian Dunlop, the bass player for the International Submarine Band.
There
And
you
I
go.
heard it on the Woodgrains
Yeah,
first album
Woodgrains had a
from something from
uh,
To Veneta. I
yeah,
remember that.
the street names.
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
it?
street
From
names.
something to
It was
yeah.
really good.
yeah.
Man, good stuff.
Oh, well, Woodgrains. That was a killer
Throwing it
band.
back.
Three young boys from Waycross, Georgia.
I
That,
miss it, man. It was a
man,
different.
they were so.
I turned them
together.
on to Dr. Dog. That's what happened.
Yes.
That's what.
Dr.
That's when they
Dog,
started
yeah.
going. Pew.
Yeah. That's probably one of the
But
first
they,
people I heard it from.
God,
So good. So good.
so young. Dylan, Evan, Nick, all graduated in 2010,
08?
maybe.
No,
8?
I was 10, so either they were 09 or 08,
Okay.
one or the other.
All right. And then they immediately moved to Athens, UGA, become a college band, and they get up there and get even tighter
God, it's so
with the
good.
music. And
I remember
just phenomenal group.
I remember seeing them at the Creek,
Mm-hmm.
and that's when I was, like I said, I was into Crosby, Stills, and Nash around that time. I was like
And
senior
they
in high
did.
school,
They were too.
and they did Sweet Judy Blue Eyes.
Yeah.
And it was like
They killed that.
point. It was note for note,
Uh-huh.
and I was just like, "Oh my god, you!" That's when I realized I was like, "You guys are on another level, dude. No one can do this."
I don't know if this is the same time you heard that, but I had this little iPod that had the video on it, whatever
Classic.
one that was. But the creek was packed, and they were playing that song, and I went through the crowd the whole song, and like I'm getting it, like there's everybody in Waycross history is in this room,
Right.
and like I'm getting like it's on
Reactions.
Facebook if you can find it. It's
Nice.
it's black and white, but it's
Nice.
it's a great video, and they're playing that song.
Such a good song.
That's neat.
That
So
might
they
be my
were
favorite
inspired
song.
by the harmony bands. I mean, you can listen to them and tell that, you know.
Yeah,
but
they were already into that when I told them about. That's
Big
why I told them about.
Beatles
Yeah.
fans, Crosby, Stills, Nash fans, Dr. Dog. You know, they
The
came on down
Zombies,
the line,
stuff
just
like that.
just like you, man. The Zombies,
Zombies. I love
great,
the Zombies.
another great '60s band.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
But that was stuff I was getting into. It just like stupid stuff like that. I love that vocalism. Yeah,
time of the season.
good stuff.
Yeah, boy. So you're from a musical family. Your
Right,
daddy is dobro player.
Dobro.
Right?
Well,
Yeah.
anything with strings, but yeah,
Anything with
that's what he
strings,
likes
but that
playing
was
the
what
most.
he liked to play. That's when I first met him. You were probably real little when I first met your daddy.
Roger.
And I don't remember exactly how I met him. It was probably through either the Bluegrass Festival out there or some other reason. But you got a lot of you got a big family of siblings, right? How many?
I just got Austin as my brother.
That's all.
Yeah, that's it.
I thought you had.
I got a big extended family though.
Okay.
My mom has her blood family, and then the family she was adopted into, and then my dad has his whole family too. Which we got a lot of cousins.
But as far as your mom and daddy, were they previously married?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Just them.
All right. So it's just you and Austin
Just me
is
and
the
Austin.
only two kids?
For sure,
And both
Where
of
did
y'all
I
are
get
into
that?
music. Austin's into music.
for
too.
sure.
Yeah,
I'm
but
sure
I was
y'all
just-
have
Amazing
him,
drummer and guitar player, right?
For some reason, I thought you had a slew of brothers. Now, do
I
you
get
have a
that
lot?
sometimes.
Did in those bands that you played in the past? Was that
We have
cousins in some of those?
Ryan Middleton was our guitar, he played keys for us. Sometimes he played guitar,
Yeah.
but he's mistaken for our
For
relative
Elaine?
a lot because
Okay.
he's got pretty much the same haircut and freckles.
Okay,
and-
that might have been what.
yeah.
What it was.
But we get that a lot.
So, but you and your brother Austin, you guys started. Y'all were the first bands y'all were in were together,
For
right?
sure. Yeah. We did. Well, I'm just starting to learn playing guitar. Like after I graduated high school, I was like into all that Guitar Hero stuff, and I was like, I got to the point where I was like playing Rock Band multiplayer, playing guitar and like singing the parts at the same time, and I was like, there's a guitar right there. Like I'm
Right.
wasting time. I can just do this. So I did, and by the time I was getting decent at guitar, Austin was like, "Hey, I'm starting a band. Do you want to learn how to play bass?" I was like, "Sure." He like showed me one of the bass lines he wrote, and I did it. And like right after he showed me, he's like, "Yeah, you got it. Okay." So we started doing that. The Red Bugs. We had our friend Chad Scott in there. He was doing vocals sometimes too, playing acoustic, and then we kind of went to a 4-piece drummer. You know, Austin was playing guitar, I was playing bass, and Ryan was either playing keys or something on the side. But we did Swamp Town in 2012, and
As the Red Bugs.
2013 was Signals. And we were getting into. I was doing some originals. Austin was doing some originals, and that's where Shady Tree came from originally.
That's right. That was another group, Shady Tree.
Well, that's the song that I wrote. We played that with Signals, and then when I started doing the Electric Owl stuff,
Shady
we did
Tree
Shady
was
Tree.
a song. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
So when we started doing, that's just something that has come with me. Just that song, it's it's grooving enough. Getting some bass lines in there.
Yeah. I remember y'all sent me a demo of that, or a demo of Signals.
Yeah.
Might have had several songs on it.
Oh yeah.
So you played Swamp Town with Red Bugs in 12, Signals in 13. Then there was a little bit of a break there. Then you resurfaced with a band called Electric Owl.
Electric Owl.
And I believe it was 18,
The end of
2018, 19, and then 20.
Sure.
And then the band went different ways.
For sure.
In 20.
Dwindled.
In 20, yeah.
It's been a combination of things in 20.
Y'all were quite popular, though.
I
Yeah.
like to think so.
So what's your main deal these days?
I've mainly been doing solo shows, just kind of doing covers, any bars around, doing the Uncle Dave thing. And I play with a band called Young Americans.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've been singing
I thought
for
I
them.
saw you on some flyers of theirs.
For
and
sure.
stuff.
Well, I've been playing a little bit of keys and singing with them, man. Those guys
They're
are
good. They're good.
unbelievable, dude.
Yeah.
So are you like singer now? with
Yeah.
them?
Their singer Kyle had to kind of take a step back. They're also starting their old band Faster back, which was huge back in the day when I was in when I was in high school and stuff. So he's kind of falling back, focusing on that, and I'm kind of taking his place when we're just doing the bar stuffs. But man, I love the songs that they choose, and that's really just my kind of style. And
it's pretty good repertoire
for
from
sure.
what I've heard.
They do like Fame,
from
David Bowie, and then we do like Love and Happiness by Al Green, and like Get Down on It, Cool in the Gang, stuff like that. But dude, it's a lot.
And
of fun.
the guy that you replaced in there, the clips that I've seen of him,
Kyle,
he had a pretty good range.
Absolutely.
Which is something that you're known for. Your vocals, you
try to keep it spread
out.
Sings
high. He sings higher than, let's see, I don't know of an analogy to put. I'd have to say that if I were to sing as high as
he
Aaron,
sings higher than Cheech and Chong.
Cheech and Chong.
That's pretty high.
If I was to hit some of the notes that Aaron hits, I'd have to be wearing tight underwear.
Woo.
I
get that. I
and
get
have
that a
it
lot.
being twisted at the same time with a torque wrench.
That's Mariah Scary.
Mariah's scary.
Man, I was listening to, because I don't know if you guys know, I did some of those Christmas songs back in the end of 2020, and I was listening to "Oh Holy Night" by Mariah Carey.
Really?
And she's singing this one, and I'm like singing along with it when I'm in the car, and I was like, man, I was like, wow, this is pretty good, but I can do these notes. And then she goes the next octave up, and I was like, oh
yeah. That's when she got the paycheck.
Yeah, it's just like, just screaming, just doing her throat whistles is what I call them.
Well,
Stupid
she
stuff.
is a girl.
It's crazy.
What's her? It's not that one. What's her big Christmas hit? And
All I Want for Christmas Is You.
Yeah, I don't even think. Is that her original?
Yeah.
I'm sure somebody wrote it, but
no, she wrote it.
She wrote
it. Well, she was in there when they were doing it, so she has.
Okay.
So she
makes more money off of that song. She makes enough money off that song to retire.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it comes back every year.
And that's what I always heard is if you can have a hit Christmas song,
seasonal,
you're set, son.
You're done.
Yeah,
Grandma got around everybody's ring.
Ain't it? Even that. Or was it simply having a wonderful Christmas? So terrible.
So this is Christmas. And what have you done?
I actually like that
John
one
Lennon
a little bit
was
more.
a little more acerbic,
but
it was great.
Still makes that money.
Bank every year.
Man.
His kids are just living.
Even
off
a
that
crappy
Christmas song.
Christmas hit is going to be played every year because
For
they
sure.
only got 20.
Was like Grandma got run over by a reindeer.
Yeah, you're going to hear it.
Horrible.
So bad.
I've always been told to you need a Christmas song. I'm like, I don't know, but if you could get one,
It's a good one though. It's so hard to get a real good one. Which is, I tried to pick out some good ones. I did like,
I caught
I'll
one
Be Home for Christmas
video that you did. You're in
the
yard.
Yeah. My buddy Wesley did that. Check out Wesley Bauer. He's awesome. He's doing Austin's next video as well. We did I'll Be Home for Christmas. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. I try to pick out the real crooner style, the good ones. The good ones that you actually like listening to. That you're not like
those classics. Yeah, the classics that were written in the 30s. When it was what was those guys' names? Jerome Kearns. Wasn't he a great songwriter?
I don't know.
I'm Dreaming of a White Christmas and
Bing Crosby. I know Bing Crosby.
One of them, it was either White Christmas or Let It Snow. I think it might have been Let It Snow. Was written in July in Los Angeles, California. So
you got to want to write a Christmas song,
ain't it?
That's what I'm talking about. He probably ascribed to that philosophy that you was just touting over there about if you can write a Christmas song. So he probably sat down in July and said, let's do this.
Let's get it. I'm going to get some money.
From production, that's when they record Christmas albums.
Yeah.
Well,
so you can,
True.
You gotta have time.
True.
Yeah.
Have at least 6 months of work time.
It's just a Mercer chiming in.
Production.
Just to be able to release. That was when the best movies, the best albums and all used to come out right before Christmas.
Ain't it? You knew you had
Always used to love that.
something about that time of year, man.
Yeah.
I was born on Christmas Eve, so I've always had this love-hate relationship with Christmas. Well, I'm tired of seeing Santa Claus on my birthday cakes.
It's my birthday.
It's my birthday.
It's about me.
I throw a tantrum, I'm going to throw the cake.
The cake has like Santa on it. You're
Yeah.
like, this is about me, damn it.
Yeah.
And your folks would be like, Jesus
I
Christ.
do remember being a little snotty kid, and I mean, I'm 6 or something. And it was probably the coolest cake I ever had.
Right.
It was like a sheet cake, and it had actual Santa Claus and the reindeer on it, and all the little trees and stuff. And I mean, like standing up on it. And I was like, I'm tired of Christmas on my birthday.
It's
And they were like, well, aren't you a little shit? Yeah. And all the Christmas paper on the presents and stuff.
man.
I guess that was the first year I realized, wait a minute.
I'm getting
Everybody else has got balloons.
I'm getting
Rip off.
And it's hard to get anybody to show up on Christmas Eve to your
For
birthday,
sure.
except for
Yeah.
your grandparents.
That's heavy. And then they're like, oh, we're gonna do Christmas too.
Yeah.
So that's fine.
They're like, Merry Christmas, Happy Birthday. I'm like, what? And my sister's birthday was in July. She always had the pool parties.
Right.
So, sorry, getting sidetracked. Got a little Christmas
Well,
history.
Sorry, I'm still resent my parents for
resent
this.
my parents. I used to try to talk them into, why can't we just have our birthday together? Have a big party. And they're like, no. We didn't have you then.
Your friends aren't coming over.
We're not going to break the
We're not
rules.
spending double money at the same
That's
time.
right. The rules of the birthday.
I know.
You have it when you're born. Yeah. Mine was right around Labor Day all the time. Connor, my son, was 3 days after 4th of July. So you know how it is when a summer birthday as opposed to a school year birthday. I mean, when you're in school and your birthday comes along, you get to send them out, you get to carry your invitations to all your classmates and just hand them out. And you have a ton of people over and a ton of presents.
It must be nice.
If it's summertime,
What are
like
friends?
Connor's birthday, it was like there ain't no school, there ain't no people you can invite.
Gonna mail 'em out.
Except your real hardcores.
Right.
So
I enjoyed Connor's birthday
say
party
it's
last
your
time.
birthday.
Yeah,
was a good time.
We hung out.
It was good stuff.
We had some jams.
Jammed
Yeah.
out. It was a very good time.
Good time.
Enjoyed that.
Well, speaking of jams, how about we take a little short break and we'll be right back in just a second with some Aaron Lane originals.
Yeah.
Something in my brain won't let me stray. Something in my veins gonna find its way. Something in the water taught me how to pray. When that cold black water finds its way into your veins, you'll never be the same.
All right, we're back from break, and here's some original music from Aaron Lane.
Hello. All right, this song is called Do Something. I'm working on a little 5-6 song acoustic EP, and this is going to be on it. So, hope you dig it. Well, I was just out walking and it all just seemed to happen. Yeah, I saw something that I'd never seen. Well, there were roads to nowhere, even street signs led you right to all the paths you seek, to wander endlessly. Why can't you see it clearly? I have tried my best, I mean, I'm just looking out for you. Oh, but who knew you'd do something that you've never done before? Do something that you've never done before. I've wasted so much time spending 2 cents just for chimes. Head up and fly away. everything I say. Not one regret I've earned, not a slight bit of concern for how it makes me feel. Sure, I know right from wrong, and I can write words to this song, but I can't get to you. Always misconstrued. So I'll do something that I've never done before. I'll do something that I've never done before. Well, I'm still steady walking on this path that's overgrown, and it's hard to place my steps. Still I lose my breath. I was so sure I'd assured you I would risk all life and limb to make a way for you, even if it makes me the fool. But as far as I can see, it wouldn't take much more than leaves to burn it all anyway. So what's left to say? Do something that you've never done before. Do something that you've never done before. But don't think for 1 second I'm lost. But don't think for 1 second that I don't know the cause. You have to accept what is gone and done away. You can't face it any other way. And there's a place in my head where I go when I'm alone, and there I can stop and think about everything. And this is where I'll go to discern my very soul from whatever I've done to hurt everyone. All in all, along this dark and dangerous road home, I'll simply carry on. Yes, I will carry on. And I'll do something that I've never done before. Go do something that you've never done before. Thank you. Do something.
You got another one you're gonna do for us?
Yeah, that one is that's the song I probably wrote back in 2014, something like that. But this one is called "Things I Think," and it's probably the newest complete song I've wrote, and it's a little more energy than that one. So
have a sip.
Mm-hmm. But I hope I'm sure a lot of people can. Well, more people can. They can feel this one. I'm sure I'll spend my whole life just waiting for the next big thing that's gonna come my way. I'm terrified, I've wasted too much time already, just standing in line. But do I ever change my ways? Or is all this ache and pain in vain because of my hard head? Every day I'm so reminded by so many things I only think I'm doing wrong. Is there some kind of flaw in my design? Is there some kind of reason for my manic state of mind? Is there any kind of reason in this life? Or are we all just holding on because we're scared to learn this night? How do I go on living? 'Cause with all of these discrepancies that I cannot change, will I learn to forgive myself for every one that I've caused pain? But oh, just looking, I can see it now. My conscience clean and the ability to simply sleep at night. But still I'm shaking and I'm taken back. I know that I'll never even make it out alive. Is there some kind of flaw in my design? Is there some kind of reason for my manic state of mind? Is there any kind of reason in this life? Or are we all just holding on because we're scared to learn this night? 'Cause I won't pretend I know it all and find myself to blame. 'Cause I can't depend on anyone at all. And so it seems these days. These days. Is there some kind of flaw in my design? Is there some kind of reason for my manic state of mind? Is there any kind of reason to suffice? Nothing makes any sense anymore. I'm scared to see the light.
Right.
You.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, that was awesome, buddy. We
Yeah.
appreciate that. Good songs too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I felt like the ghost of Freddie Mercury was smiling down.
I was hearing some Robert Plant in there.
Yeah.
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 I love those guys. That's like two
It's-
favorite
it's-
vocalists.
It's that multi-octave stuff going on, you know,
Yes.
that we was talking about earlier. And that you said that last song was the debut performance of that.
I played it for like live, but you know how many people pay attention to that.
Right.
So
Recorded.
yeah, recorded, absolutely. First time
version.
that's
Debut
recorded.
record. And we're proud to have that on the Something in the Water podcast. Folks, you
Proud
heard it
for it
here
to be there.
first. Aaron Lanes.
He also did. Justin also recorded my first and only recording of "Man with a Microphone." Check that out.
What was that on? Which one was that on? Caution Light?
Caution Lights.
YouTube?
Uncut.
Uncut?
Okay, uncut.
Caution Light Media Uncut.
Uncut.
Number 24.
So these two songs are going to be on a EP, you said?
EP, yeah. I'm working on a little acoustic EP out. I'm gonna self-produce. just to get some of the original stuff, the feel good stuff. You know what I mean? Kind of Jack Johnson, Paul Simon.
Yeah.
From those two opposite ends of the acoustic spectrum.
Yeah.
That's a little bit in there.
And you also do you also do a podcast.
Yes. Down Here on Earth podcast.
Down Here on Earth?
Down Here on Earth.
All right.
It's a little bit
about
of
that.
It's a little just anything that you can talk about that we can talk about that pulls people together a little bit because we all have more in common than we don't.
Exactly. I
So
agree
People
with
only
that.
talk about what we don't have in common.
Exactly. That's
Do
what
you
people
have
like
guests?
to talk about.
Do you have guests on that?
I'm working on getting Duncan from Frank and the Jobber. They got a podcast, comedy podcast, him and Frank Sykes. I want to get both of them on there.
Cool.
My buddy Wesley, who does a bunch of, he does Park Sharks, which is a skate park documentary series that he goes out and checks all the skate parks out. It's super cool.
Yeah.
And then I'll have my brother on there eventually. Want to just bring everybody on there. I wanted to have like Rick Bennett on and talk about Star Child and stuff like that. Take it way back. Take it way back.
Speaking of Rick, he'd be a good one to have
Yeah,
on here too.
I've said that a many times.
But
Absolutely. Bring back the rock and roll.
well, I guess it's about time for another tale of the week.
Ooh.
And the one that I've selected for those of you just tuning in, Tales of the Week is a blog that I wrote back in let's see 2000. Well, it was for about it's about 2.5 years. I wrote a weekly blog that went online and in the local newspaper, and also had a book published with 25 of the blogs in it. And this is one of them. And this week we're
All the pretty boys.
All the Pretty Boys by Paul McCartney from Liverpool.
Problematic.
No, this is actually this one is called "Saw It on TV," which is the name of a song which we talked about earlier in this podcast.
Foreshadowing.
Song that was written with the help of Corey Bradley and Ian Dunlop, and
Aaron plays this song out loud.
Aaron, it was one of Aaron's favorites. I remember you messaged me on Facebook one time and said, "Can I have the lyrics, please, sir?"
Yes.
And
so what is this chord?
what is this about?
The A major 7's messing me up.
Basically,
Who's Mighty Mouse?
it's about everything that I grew up with. 'Cause me and television basically grew up together. I was born in '53, and television entered, right there at the tail end of the '40s, early '50s, and so we grew up together. Me and TV did, and a song that me and my friends co-wrote kind of identified the change of television from its infancy into what it is now, and how we missed that old innocence. It's called "Saw It on TV." Here's a little segment from the second verse. It says, "Lee Harvey shot Kennedy. Then Jack Ruby, he shot old Lee. I saw Walter Cronkite cry as the funeral casing rolled on by. The Beatles stopped the bleeding some in '64 on Ed Sullivan. But black and white don't bleed blood red as the world turned round on my TV set. I was born on September 1st, 1953. Me and television grew up together. It was all very innocent to begin with. The first show I can remember was the Mickey Mouse Club, starring Annette Funicello and those big, beautiful mouse ears. Saturday morning gave us all sorts of entertainment, from Mighty Mouse cartoons to Western favorites, The Lone Ranger, The Roy Rogers Show, Sky King, and Tales of the Texas Rangers. As the 60s rolled around, Lucy and Ricky and Rob and Laura Petrie were still sleeping in separate beds. And it would remain that way until Norman Mailer started making waves 10 years later with All in the Family. But by then, we had all lost a bit of innocence. In November of '63, I was in the 5th grade at Sylvester Road Elementary School in Albany, Georgia. The following is a memory replayed by just about every baby boomer I've ever met. My 5th grade teacher, Ms. Council, came into the classroom crying. She told us the president had been shot and that we would be excused for the rest of the day. I'm sure at 10 years of age, I might have been a little bit happy about getting out of school early. But when I got home, I found my mama sitting and crying in front of the TV, watching as NBC newsmen Chet Huntley and David Brinkley narrated in disbelief. Seeing all these adults visibly shaken, it was beginning to sink in that this was pretty heavy stuff that I might need to be concerned about. So I watched. And I remembered the images. President Kennedy smiling and waving. Jackie Kennedy crawling over the back seat toward the Secret Service agent as the Continental sped away. Walter Cronkite removing his black-rimmed spectacles, his voice quavering as he officially announced the death of the president. Jack Ruby firing into Lee Harvey Oswald's stomach while the detective James Lavelle, the big dude in the white cowboy hat, recoiled in horror. Little John Kennedy saluting his daddy's coffin as it rolled by, all on live black and white television. By February of 1964, America was more than ready for a pleasant distraction. It came in the form of 4 British musicians on CBS's acclaimed variety show, Ed Sullivan. Millions tuned in. Even criminal activity stopped for the few minutes that the Beatles played. Innocence was ours again. The Beatles' music, positive and uplifting, continued through the 60s. Their message was love, but the television told another story. I remember thumbing through a Life magazine in '65 and seeing photos of U.S. soldiers in a place called Vietnam, a world away from Waycross. Little by little, that miserable mistake of a war eased into our homes, our hearts, and our minds, a constant backdrop on the evening news as we gathered at the supper table. By the end of the decade, the Beatles were on the verge of breaking up. We had put a man on the moon. 500,000 kids in upstate New York gathered in the name of peace, love, and music. The war in Vietnam was escalating, and we now owned a new color TV. And on color TV, blood bleeds red. Ooh. Tale of the week.
Jesus Christ, man.
Well,
Got heavy on me. I'm holding back tears over here.
We do want to thank our good buddy Aaron Lane for joining us this time on Something in the Water. And thank y'all for watching. We appreciate it so much, and urge you to tell your friends and neighbors about us, and like and subscribe and rate, review, comment, all the stuff that you're supposed to do.
Mash all the buttons.
Mash all the buttons.
You know, it's fun.
At once.
All of it.
We love you. Come back and see us.
We'll see you later.
When the cold black water finds its way across through your veins, it just might seal your fate. It just might seal your fate. It just might.